and ducting. So something which is very attractive to you, or you want to have it, that is enticing. So as you know, the theme of the day is mangoes. So we can make a sentence that the smell of the mangoes are very enticing. So try to use this word in your speeches, in your debate topics, and in your evaluations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, TM Shakil, for the word of the day, enticing. And since mangoes are enticing, Mr. President, can we ask you to serve mangoes instead of cookies?
Ask the hotel. I'm all for it.
Okay, so the timer for today's meeting is the de facto
Yeah.
TM Imran Rana. He will be letting us know the timings for our speeches through the indications he has. He has 3 different colors: green, yellow, and red. For every speech has different times with them. So he will be raising up those indications for online attendance. We have backgrounds with them. So the color of the background will be changed on different times. For our counter, we have TM Muhammad Muzammil. Do we have?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So I've already said so many and and filler words. So he will be counting all the and all the filler words, and he will be giving his report at the end of the meeting. Then we have the vote counter. The vote counter we have today is not the de facto.
Yeah.
TM Saad is not the vote counter for this event. We have Ali Asher Anjum, and I believe he is coming.
Yes.
He's coming. So he will be at the end of each session. The vote counter would be posting up the polls on the groups and giving us the report at the end of the poll session. Then we have listener. For listener, we have TM Wasi Ahmed. I remember one of his last role as a listener, and he's a very tough. So make sure that you listen all these speeches carefully, for the reason that he will be asking you different questions at the end of the session, just to make sure that you all are awake. Then we have the tech host, the last one. So the tech host is none other than DDM Talab bin Ahmed, and he will be taking the responsibility of the technical things throughout the session. That's all from my side. Now we are all good to start the first session, which is the prepared speeches. And for the are we good to go, Mr. President?
TMOD, before you begin, there's the joke master as well.
How dare you?
This itself added a joke into the session. I'm really sorry, Yamaba. So we have the joke master of
She's
the
the incoming president.
Yes.
What a blunder.
Yes, I'm really sorry. I apologize. I deeply apologize for that. So we have the joke master of the day, and she is TM Khan. She is one of the famous joke masters. She always gives very good jokes and makes all of us laugh. So over to you, Toastmaster of the day, TM.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests. And after the day really does keep the doctor away, but only if you aim it well. Did you hear about the crook who stole the calendar? He got 12 months. And the last one, what's long, hard, and full of semen? What's long, hard, and full of semen? A submarine. Over to the TMOD.
Thank you very much, TM Hiba, for making us all laugh. Now we are all good to move towards the prepared speeches. I believe we have the first speaker and the evaluator with us. The first speaker is none other than TM Sarfaraz Nazir, and she will be evaluating.
Toastmaster.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I guess I will be the Toastmaster of the team. So he will be evaluated by TM Hibaris Khan. So I would like to welcome TM Hibaris Khan to introduce DTM Surprises.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, DTM Sarfaraz is wait a minute. He is doing his innovative planning level 1 presentation 1 icebreaker speech, the night in jail, and the duration of the speech is 4 to 6 minutes. And the objectives of the speech are there's only one. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce him or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Over to DTM Sarfaraz.
Toastmaster Imran Rana, can you hear me? I didn't hear you. Okay, thank you.
So you are audible.
Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, growing up in Pakistan, I never got a chance to see the inside of a jail. The jail could not entice me for 2 reasons. Number one, I knew that even before the official verdict was announced, my parents were going to kill me. And number two, the jails in Pakistan do not have mangoes. They do not serve mangoes to prisoners. A long, long time ago, once in a blue moon, a friend of mine would ask me to give him a ride at night. He worked in a neighboring town, about 20 to 25 minutes drive. His shift was 11 at night to 7 in the morning. So around 10 o'clock at night, I would drop him. A few times, I dropped him at his place of employment. And because of that, I got to know some of the police officers in that town, especially when one time an officer stopped me and he said, "Your tail light is broken." Of course, my tail light was broken. I did not know it, but he did not give me a ticket because he had gotten to know me. Another time when I dropped Abdul, a police officer approached me. He said, "We have just arrested a man who was drunk and he was trying to break into the city hall. He's in jail. We have a young man whom we call upon to guard the prisoner. Unfortunately, we cannot get hold of him. Would you like to sit in the police station and guard him?" I said yes, for 2 reasons. Number one, I like to do things that most people would not do. And number two, having made a few trips to that town, I knew there was a young woman dispatcher. And I thought, well, all night long I can chit chat with her. Little did I know that she was not at the police station. She was stationed at the fire station. Unfortunately, I don't have another story for Toastmaster Fahim Razak about another pretty woman. The reason this man was in jail, he had received a call from his sister who had been arrested. She asked him to come to jail and bail her out. It was about 1 to 2 hours drive from where he was. On the way, he stopped at a bar, got drunk, and he went to a different town and tried to enter the police station thinking it was the jail where his sister was. And that's why he was arrested. I was taken to the police station. There were several desks for the detectives. There was a door on one side. On the other side, there were prison cells. He was in one of them. The lights were off. I could hear him, but I could not see him. All night long, he kept on telling me, oh, I'm not drunk. You can make me walk. I can walk in a straight line. And at one time he asked me, where are you from? I was afraid to tell him the truth. So instead of saying Pakistan, I said, I'm from Canada. He kept on bugging me. He did not even know he was drunk. And that made me realize that drinking is not good. And there's a reason why we are asked not to drink or get drunk. Also realized how dark and lonely it is in prison or in jail. And for that reason, it's also not a good thing to spend a night in jail. The next morning they came and took him out, put me in the car next to him. Fortunately, he was a bit sober, but he did not recognize me. He did not know I was the man guarding him. After they dropped me off, I was happy that I got to spend a few hours in jail to realize what an American jail looks like. A few days later, I got a check, a bank check in the mail. They paid me for a few hours that I spent in the jail. How lucky. You get to spend a few hours in jail and you get paid for it? What a deal. But as I walked away that night from that jail, I've never forgotten that lesson. Never do something illegal that will make you end up in jail, because it is a very embarrassing situation. And what do you tell people? Hey, remember the night I spent in jail? I can't even say that I spent a night in jail. The moment I say that, some people, I can't believe that Sarfraz spent a night in jail. Well, it was not exactly spending a night in jail, but almost. I hope that speech has given you a little bit more insight as to who Sarfraz Nazir is, even though the Toastmaster called me a she. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
I apologize again, TTM Sarfraz. Thank you very much for the enticing speech, and you took all of us to that jail with you, and we felt we were in the jail with you. Now, moving on to the next speech, we have Braham, DTM.
Actually, you join after 7:30.
So, DTM Talab
Then count.
I guess we have
being on
yes.
time. So
Okay, so moving on to the third slot, we have the president, DTM Talha bin Ahmed,
Yeah.
and he will be evaluated by DTM Sarfraz Nazir. So I would like to request DTM Sarfraz Nazir to please welcome DTM Talha bin Ahmed for his speech. Over to you, DTM Sarfraz.
Thank you once again, Mr. Toastmaster. It is my honor to introduce to you distinguished Toastmaster Talha, our next speaker. He is giving a project from the Dynamic Leadership Pathways Level 5, Prepare to Speak Professionally. The title of his speech is The Cosmic Blind Spot. And the purpose of this speech is for DTM Talha to prepare and present a long speech. And we all know that DTM Talha has no problem presenting a long speech. The time of his speech is 18 to 22 minutes. Distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Ahmed, the cosmic blind spot, the cosmic blind spot. Distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Ahmed. Okay, is it DTM Talha ready?
yes, I am. Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
All right. Imagine a romantic summer evening. A beautiful girl is sitting in a cafe, sipping on soy latte frappuccino, or whatever the kids bring these days. A young man opens the door, looks at the girl, and is instantly smitten. He loses his heart. He walks towards the table and he intends to sit with her. But then he stumbles and falls down. Getting up from the floor, he displays a presence of mind. Brings out a beautiful ring that has mysteriously appeared in his pocket and presents, "Will you marry?" The girl says, "What the?" Who's that? But after thinking a bit, she says, "Yes, yes, yes, I will marry you." A few months later, they are engaged. And a few years later, they have 4 beautiful children. And that is the surprise, friends and neighbors. That person is not me. That person is not standing here before you. Now, nothing happening to you or me. You think such incidences only happen in stories? Are they the stuff of romance novels and Christmas movies? What if I tell you that this is happening all around us, all the time, at every scale? Even on the subatomic scale. You only have to imagine the girl and the boy being photons. And that brings me rather neatly to something called the double slit experiment. Now you would be asking yourselves, have I lost my mind? To that, I would reply, by now, you should be familiar with the situation. When 2 photons meet, consider them the beautiful girl and the boy. When they interfere and pass through the slit, which could be the restaurant, they produce an interference pattern. You know, children. It was discovered that when 2 photons pass through 2 different slits, they interfere. They act as particles and waves simultaneously, and they produce an interference pattern. Until now, everything is logical and predictable. But what if I tell you that if we reduce the slit to a single slit, even then there's an interference pattern? What if I tell you, even if there is 1 photon, it produces an interference pattern? Imagine the boy walking into the cafe. Imagine there is no one sitting on the table. Imagine the boy marrying himself and producing 4 children. Well, the idea is laughable, but this is exactly what happens at the subatomic level. What's more, imagine if there are 2 detectors that are detecting which photons passes through which slit. You would think that photons won't carry on interfering with each other, but no, they produce no interference pattern if they are being detected. Further, if the detectors are placed after this wall of slits, which means that the photons have no way of knowing whether there is any detector after the slit or not. Even then, there is no interference pattern. Again, coming back to our meet cute, the parents of the photons are sitting in a private space in the cafe. And if they detect the girl and boy meeting and the whole ring situation, obviously no marriage and no interference pattern. But imagine if the girl and boy meet and then they engage and get married and have children, and later their parents learn about all that. The children disappear. Can you wrap your head around that? Well, this is what quantum physics is like. Light passes through one slit, still forms an interference pattern. Even if a single photon is fired, it still forms an interference pattern. It interferes with itself somehow. One particle behaves like two particles. If detectors are placed to detect which slits the photons pass through, there is no interference. Even if the detectors are placed after the slits, there is still no interference pattern. Observing a photon can change the events that have already happened. Let's continue with our meet cute. This is not the end of the start. So the boy proposes, the girl accepts the proposal, and they get engaged. But then the boy learns that he has a very lucrative job offer overseas. He meets the girl, tells her the news, and she says that I will. The boy flies across the 7 seas and starts his job. On their first evening apart, the boy goes to the corner shop, buys shan masala and cooks nahari. Because guess what? This is the favorite dish of his girlfriend. On their first evening apart, the girl goes to the corner shop, buys shan masala and cooks nahari. Because guess what? That is the favorite dish of her boyfriend. The boy goes to the market and gets a host of blue shirts. Because guess what? That's what the color that his girlfriend likes. The girl goes out to the market and buys a pile of blue dresses. Because guess what? That's what the boy likes. Both of them use the same toothpaste. Both of them even prefer the red colored toothbrush. Both of them use the same brand of soap, the same brand of shampoo. They each have 3 friends. And they make the same amount of money in dance. Now imagine if the girl is in Murid Cave and the boy is in Dallas, Texas. And imagine they're doing the exact same things. But you know what? It is the old ages. There is no time to communicate with each other. And yet living identical lives. Does that make sense? Anyone?
A little bit.
How does that make sense? It's not supposed to make sense. That's what the whole speech is about.
The girl and the boy make sense.
Of course they do. Of course they do. So,
Little is happening.
boy in Dallas. They are living identical lives. And 30 years later, when they meet, they discover that they could not date. They each have married. They each have 3 kids each, named Bilal, Ashraf, and Maria. The girl has a spouse named Okay, the girl and the boy's spouse share the same name.
Shamim.
Yeah, Shami. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. You got it. And they are living in identical houses and drive the same car. Welcome to quantum entanglement, ladies and gentlemen. It is a phenomenon that is genuinely observed. And according to this, two particles they come into contact with each other, they take on each other's properties. Now that means contact with each other, they have some interaction with each other, on each other's property. They travel in opposite directions in space and time. Even for millions and millions of years, they continue to behave the same. For example, if one particle changes its spin, the other changes its spin. If one particle changes its momentum, the other changes its momentum. And the changes are identical. What's more, the changes are instantaneous. And according to our current worldview, nothing can be instantaneous, can it? Everything is bound by the speed of light. But guess what? This phenomenon, this entanglement, travels faster than the speed of light. It has been proven to travel faster than the speed of light. No matter how many billions of years the particles are apart, once entangled, they reflect the changes, detect in each other. The only problem is there is no detection. There is no way for these particles to exchange information, at least no way that is faster than light. Now, you must have seen twins, right? Some identical twins are known to have spent quite similar lives, right? They have very identical tastes, they have very similar life trajectories, and there have been cases where the twins have been separated at birth and they've spent separate lives throughout their lifetimes. And when they met, it was discovered that they have been broadly living the same lives. But you know what? Those twins come from the same source. The genetic makeup is identical. So it stands to reason that there would be similarities in the lives they live, in the choices they make, in everything they do, because most of our behavior is still dictated by what's in our DNA. And only some of it is dictated by our conditioning, although that ratio varies from person to person. But what about quantum entanglement? It has been observed at the subatomic scale, at the atomic scale, even at the molecular scale. Molecules consisting of thousands of atoms have been entangled and they have exhibited the same change that is instantaneous and beyond explanation. Einstein even had a name for it, and he called it spooky action at a distance. Now, you must have heard the term action at a distance. It denotes the same phenomenon, actually, that the action takes place at a distance without any delay. Now, both these phenomena, I believe, have not been explained to utter satisfaction till today. And what physicists do is keep coming up with new models that fit their observations. For example, Einstein came up with the theory of relativity that governs the space and time that we see on a large scale, the scale that you and I can see and hear and detect and touch. Quantum mechanics governs what happens at the subatomic scale. Things that we cannot see or feel or hear or touch. But all the theories of quantum mechanics that make some degree of sense do not make sense. Why? String theory, which theorizes that every particle is actually a string with vibrations, requires 26 dimensions to work. How many dimensions can you see?
Three, four.
Four. We can detect four, 3 spatial and 1 time. Now, in order for those 26 dimensions to work, scientists say that 22 dimensions are curled up around the axis, too tiny to observe, but they're there. Now, what's going on here? I am no physicist, I am no scientist, but even I can tell that they're just coming up with random things that fit their observations. There is no intrinsic link between all the theories that are being postulated to fit our observations. Is proven. They come up with something else. There are mathematical models. There are simulations, and 999 out of 1,000 times those simulations work, but the 1,000 times work, and it's back to the drawing board. What's going on? Tell me one thing. Can you make a mathematical model that predicts the behavior of children? Is there a mathematical model that accurately predicts our climate?
To a certain extent.
Yes. That's not accurate, right?
100%.
That's not accurate.
99% confidence.
No, not even 99%. not yeah. There isn't even a reliable model to predict the economy, the value of currency, the value of stocks, the availability of money. What makes us think that we can make a model that predicts the subatomic behavior and everything else in the universe, and it will fit perfectly? It will work forever? For me, at least, that's an incredibly naive assumption. The idea of a theory of everything may sound very enticing. One theory to rule them all. One theory that explains everything, that explains how this projector is working, that explains how am I speaking, that explains how this air is blowing, and why not efforts. One theory that explains how this planet is revolving around the sun. When will that sun die? What is the movement of our galaxy? One theory. But right now, no such theory exists because there is a huge disconnect between what we see and what happens on a subatomic scale. We cannot even measure where a particle is and how fast it is moving. No, we can't. There's a fundamental roadblock called Heisenberg's uncertainty principle that prevents us from doing that. What makes us think that we can make an accurate model that predicts this behavior? We can spend the entire lifetime of the universe and not come up with a theory that explains all this phenomenon. Coming back to the double slit experiment and the quantum entanglement. for me at least, there's a very simple explanation that can explain everything in one fell swoop. We only have to open our minds a little bit. We only have to get rid of the obsession that everything can be explained through equations and formulas and observation. And that explanation is consciousness. I believe that everything is conscious. The particles, the waves, the planets, the stones, people, of course. What makes us think that consciousness can only arise inside living things? We haven't even been able to explain how consciousness arises. Scientists say that some atoms and molecules get together under certain circumstances, and suddenly there is life and consciousness and self-awareness. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, to me, that comes across as plain, stupid, and lazy, and it violates something called Occam's razor. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, consider that everything is conscious and we are whole. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Are you a chartered accountant? The way he was explaining was just marvelous.
He's a member of Scientific Society.
The way he was giving us the knowledge, the way he was using the terminologies were so natural, but that it's something he's working on since years. So I would like to give a standing applause to PTM. At his speech, I was just wondering how would he be ending? And he came with such a nice ending that it's all about consciousness. Yes, that's true. We all just want to have all the knowledge, and in the gain of that knowledge, we just spend our lives getting nothing out of it. So moving on ahead to the next speaker, we have TM Ali Zergan. Do we have TM Ali Zergan?
If he has joined online, then we can have. If not, then
Can we check TM Ali Zergan?
Just give me a second.
why? Who is evaluating Bijar? Bijar hai? So we can call
Pass
Bijar.
is right here.
Okay. So yes. So we have our new Toastmaster, TM Bejar, and he will be evaluated by TM Wase Ahmed. I would like to request TM Wase Ahmed to please introduce TM Bejar.
Good evening, everyone. Toastmaster Bizarre will be breaking the ice today. He will be giving his first project from presentation mastery. And as we all know, Icebreaker is really the most interesting speech. I would say one that sets the tone for the next all the speeches that come ahead of it. So I'm really excited to hear you, to listen to you actually. So let's see what Toastmaster Bizarre has for us.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vase. And now I know your name. Thank you everyone for this opportunity. I'm happy to be part of this club, and this will be my first prepared speech. Unfortunately, I could not prepare too much, but whatever I have prepared, I will definitely go into that. So first of all, some of you might not know about me, but are here for the first time. The mystery about my name, the jar. I'll confuse you even more. My complete name is Bijar Khan Donkey. Who here has heard Bijar before?
No.
Who here has heard the name Donkey before?
Yes.
Fine. Oh, great. Right. So Bijar means brave. It's a Baluchi name. It's as old as the 1800s. There was a Sardar who you could say was a rebel, and he was anti-British. And he used to raid British caravans in the Balochistan area because they were trying to and that was a trade route. This region was a massive trade route, and a lot of our cargo used to go straight up. Now that the mystery is over, I was born in Karachi. I have been born and bred here, did my O-levels and A-levels from private schools here, fortunately. I always sailed through life comfortably, never worrying about financial resources or money for that matter. And I graduated from a business school because all of my friends were doing the same. I graduated from IBA Karachi with a business degree, got my first job in an MNC, and seemed like everything was working out. But then I don't know, it suddenly hit me that I should determine my own course. I quit my job. I thought I want to do something about the situation in Pakistan. I decided to sit the exam for civil service. Long story short, 1 to 2 years passed by. That did not work. And now at this point, I had no peers guide. I took a long, hard look at myself in the mirror. And that was a deciding moment for me that moving on, I will decide my career and future on my own and stand on my own 2 feet. That was a life-changing moment for me. People, I think, should always own up to their failures and learn from it. There's no shame. You should not hide. 8 years down the lane now, I am in digital marketing. I work with the biggest company in IT and digital that you can think of. I'm an account strategist with Google in Pakistan. And, you know, it seems like everything has worked. A little bit about, somebody who's always had my back in life, my mother. I think in a Pakistani context, mothers and women in general are not appreciated enough, but kudos to my mother. Had it not been for her, I might not be going to school because I was not a good student. It was her motivation and direction that got me through school. I was noticed. A few things that I enjoy in life, that I'm passionate about and have discovered about myself over the years. I love sunsets. I am just crazy about sunsets. And 2 of the most beautiful sunsets that these eyes have seen was one in Ormara and another was in Dubai. And I just sat there for 2 hours in each of these places with a cup of coffee, just thinking about life and pondering over my past. People who know me would also say that I am a little adventurous. I like to plan picnics, outings, road trips.
Where were you?
And I'm a little risk taker as well. I'll tell you an embarrassing story from my childhood. I think that should set a good tone. I think it was about when I was 10, 11 years old. Me and my brother and my cousins, all of us in the same age bracket, went to Karachi Zoo. And that was my first trip to the zoo. Right from the moment I sat in the car, I wanted to sit and I wanted to see an elephant. And that was my core motivation for going there. No other reason. My mother did not accompany me on the tour. There was just one adult with me and my servant, and the rest of us were all young kids. As soon as I entered the zoo, it seemed that the elephant would come at the very end of the tour because it was on the other side of the zoo. Unfortunately, patience is not my virtue. While my family was with me, I decided to venture off on my own. I read the elephant board and direction and just started off. I did get to see the elephant, thank God, but I got lost. My brother But thank God some angel found me and brought me back to Malta. That spirit of adventure still continues to this day. And I guess that will be all. Thank you so much for your time.
I know you all missing me as a Trio Modi, so I took this opportunity to come and take the spot of Toastmaster Mufaddal for a short while. He has gone for the namaz prayers. And for the next speech, that was an amazing, amazing icebreaker. Thank you so much for that. And we need to give him the standing ovation. And we'll talk about the picnic planning later on. So I can see that we have DTM Braham Mehmet. Should we call him for the speech?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next speech today is by a very special guest all the way from Canada.
Yeah.
And DTM Braham Mehmet. He will be evaluated by DTM Talha bin Hamid. DTM Talha, please come in and introduce him and his speech further.
Thank you so much, everyone. And we have a very special friend today. He's a friend of the club and a champion of Toastmasters. His name is DTM Braham Mehmet, and he is currently the club group director in Canada. I forget the number of the district, apologies for that. He's working on something very special. He's holding a worldwide event, and that event is called Global Leadership Impact Summit. It will happen in July, and today, Braham Mehmet project inspired audience around that project. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires. The purpose of the speech is for the member to inspire the audience. So, everyone, please put your hands together for DTM Braham Mehmet. Leadership Impact Summit, Global Leadership Impact Summit, DTM Braham Mehmet.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. Assalamu alaikum. It's good to be here in Pakistan, all the way from Canada. And today I just want to tell you a little bit about this big project that I'm doing. And it's called Imagine. That is the theme. Of course, the project itself is the Global Leadership Impact Summit, and it's going to be on July the 23rd. My time will be 9:30 a.m. Your time, 6:30 p.m. on Saturday. Now, here's the question, right, as to what's in this event? Why this event? So let me just tell you this. Imagine that there's 1,000 people in this event that are highly motivated Toastmasters from all around the world, including Karachi Toastmasters at this summit. 1,000. Now here we have perhaps 30 people maximum. I don't know, both online and hybrid, but 1,000 people, right? Now, if you have 1,000 people in a summit, how can we do this? That is a challenge that I've taken on because this is my DTM project. I've been in Toastmasters for 26 years. I've done a lot of things. So here's what's going to be in the summit. There's going to be international presidents like Jim Kokoski, Mohammed Murad, Deepak Menon. They will be conducting a panel discussion on leadership. And they are asking for questions that you would like to ask them before the event begins, which means when you register, you will get an email saying, what is the question that you want to ask these international presidents? And then we will draw your question and you can come on stage and ask this question in front of 1,000 people. So that's an incentive to come to this event. Now you say, okay, I will learn a lot about leadership, but what else? Well, of course, in any event, especially at that level, we need to know how to speak well as well, right? So we have 3 world champions of public speaking as well present on that day. Lance Miller from 2005, champion from that time. All right. We have Verity Price, who was a current champion, and she is champion from 2021. And of course, the veteran stalwart of championships, Mark Brown from 1995. He's called the father of the champions. He knows how to talk and how to speak and what it takes to become a great speaker. They will be also taking questions from you at the summit about speaking and the future of speaking, technology, how to be authentic, and how to really become a great speaker. Because leaders need to be good speakers to be able to convince confidently, with conviction, who they're speaking to. Now, you don't have to be a world champion of public speaking, right, to do that. But you can be a better speaker. We will have workshops, breakout rooms, and networking rooms for 1,000 people on Zoom, right? 1,000 people. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. You'll ask, so why are you doing this anyways? 1,000 people, so what? Well, here's the thing. Why the 1,000 people? First of all, to begin with, 1,000 people, because a Zoom meeting can hold a maximum of 1,000 people at a time. And if you want more, you have to convert it into a webinar, which is a very different format. So we want to keep it like a Zoom meeting because we're all used to Zoom meetings and it's more interactive. That's one thing. The other thing is, of course, because I've been in Toastmasters for 26 years, I keep reinventing myself every year and my projects get bigger and bigger and bigger. So after 26 years, I want to sort of deal with a project that is huge, global at the same time. Hence this project. July the 23rd, 9:30 a.m. my time, right? Which is 6:30 p.m. your time. Now here's something that I would like you all to do. You all have a smartphone, right? You have a calendar in there. Why don't you take your smartphone right now, open on July the 23rd at 6:30 and mark in it right now that you will be at the summit. And there is a link in the chat. I know those of you are online, not online in a physical room. This link will be sent to you later, or Talha bin Hamid can give you this link. But those who are online, there you can click on that link right now and find out what it is all about if you want to. But before you do, click the link, however, open your calendar and put in there 6:30 p.m. July the 23rd, you will be at the Global Leadership Impact Summit. You will be part of an event that will break records. It's a historic event, never ever done before in Toastmasters. And you'll be part of an event that will create a record in history. It will be written in history that this was the first time ever that Toastmasters got together without the help of a district, without the help of the International Toastmaster headquarters, and created something extraordinary. So be part of that. There's another incentive as well. If you think that there is a Toastmaster in your club, in your area, in your division, in your district, anywhere in the world that you think has done some great work over the past 2 years, you can nominate them to receive an award at the summit. So, or you could nominate yourself. People ask me, can I nominate myself? Yes, absolutely, you can nominate yourself. The other thing is, become an ambassador and promote it to at minimum of 20 people. Your name will be put in a draw and you'll be drawn. And if your name is drawn, you will be able to speak in front of 1,000 people at the summit. There's many incentives that we have like that. So the first thing is put this date in your calendar and then register on the website, and you'll get all the other information there on the website. So, ladies and gentlemen, Global Impact Leadership Summit, July 23rd. I hope to see you there. Connect with me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, send me an email, whatever it is. I'm happy to connect with you and let you know more about it. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, DTM Graham, for sharing us the knowledge and the details of the event. We all would like to attend this event, and we all will try our level best to be there. Now, moving on to the next speaker, do we have PM Anam?
Yes.
When we have the evaluator, PM Gulab. Okay, so the next speaker is TM Anam Kadri, and she will be evaluated by TM Ghulam Qadir Kambala. I would like to welcome TM Ghulam Qadir. Please introduce yourself.
Toastmaster Anam Kadri. She's our champion speaker. And today, she will be giving a project from the pathway engaging humor, level 1, project 2. The project is evaluation and feedback. This is the second speech. So in the first speech, she has been given a feedback by her evaluator. And in this project, she has to incorporate that feedback. And I'm sure you guys must be wondering, what was that feedback? So the feedback was that she needs to work on the stage utilization. So let's see how much improvement she has done in the second speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Anam Kadri.
Am I visible?
Yes.
I'm sorry, you'll have to bear with this ghosty look. I could hear people here listen, laugh, but I'm sorry, you'll have to bear with that.
Then I said something.
She said she please go ahead. Please go ahead. I didn't say anything.
Okay. The lights are dim while the candle burns. The champagne glass stood empty, where now the tulips yearn. A newly wedded couple sat with delight, their smiles so pure, relishing their dinner, getting all cheesy, putting spoonfuls in each other's mouth. Everything seemed to be a fantasy, like you read in the romantic novels these days. But then a distant sound somewhere, and the spoons about to reach their destination clattered on the plates. While the eyes roamed. Why do people bring their children everywhere? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, it was a wailing child who was just dragged in by her father into the restaurant, despite her poundings and bangings on the door, on the walls, to get the balloon from the balloon seller outside. Everybody in the room knew what was the antidote, except for the father, who seemed to be accustomed to these cries and was desperate to move on his way. Yes, it was us. And it was very usual. Wherever we went, we were welcomed more by a swarm of children than the adults. And those two, the loud ones. But then we got our own very personal 4 gifts. Each one of them a revised version of the previous one and holding advanced features. Version 1.0 taught us the lesson that parents too need some me time. They too have their desires, their wishes, their little dreams that needs to be fulfilled. Even if it meant going out with the same little being that was keeping them awake throughout the night and then kept them on foot throughout the day. But sometimes a change in scenario is needed to lighten up the mood. Version 2.0 taught us how to lead a zombie life. Cradling the baby on the shoulder till 4 o'clock in the night and waking up the next morning to pretend to be your usual self. And amongst all this, what we learned? We learned how to get our beauty sleep, not only while lying down on the bed, but while sitting or while standing, especially while brewing the tea for your husband when he was ready to leave for the office the next morning. Version 3.0 was the naive one, sitting silently in a corner, playing on her own. It was just a few months later that we realized that she was processing the entire routine in her little microprocessor to torture us in a way that ganging up with her siblings, destroying the things around, and then sneaking out and leaving the service for the others. Version 4.0 finally led us to think that maybe it was the consequences of our actions that we did during our childhood. Starting from the destruction of her mom's makeup when she was fast asleep. Oh, no. Don't get her wrong. She wasn't the fearful one. She actually sprinkled the floor all over the place, leaving little imprints just to make sure it could not be anybody else. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, amongst all this, what was the eternal message that we got? Never to ask the parents, why don't they leave their children anywhere, wherever they go? Because there are a few children who cannot be left at home. For once you leave them, you will never be able to be on your own to go out ever and ever again. We humans are so instinctive. We tend to form conclusions. We tend to follow our instincts and we don't think what others might feel until we go through the same thing. Sometimes your eyes might deceive you, and you'll have to put yourself into others' shoes to realize the real reason behind their actions and behind their words. So sometimes you have to contain your painful instincts to your own self and think for once what the others are going through. And now I hear a child somewhere screaming, maybe a neighbor's child. No. Maybe she needs some help. Let me help her out. Over to you, madam. Sorry, TM Moody.
Thank you very much, dear madam, for the hilarious speech. Now, moving on to the next speaker, we have TM Fahim Razak. Yes, and he will be evaluated by TM Javed Fatih. I would like to request TM Javed.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Fahim Razak, a very valuable addition and a pleasant one to KTC family. He is presenting a level 2 project 3 from presentation Mastery Pathway. And the title of the speech is A Costly Delay. The time duration is 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. Over to you, Toastmaster. Thank you.
You have probably heard that the fear of public speaking is fear more than the death itself. Sounds a bit crazy, but having gone through the excruciating experience of giving a speech in public for the first time in 2017, I could totally relate to it. You see, back in 2017, my boss came over to my desk. Fahim, would you like to give a presentation to a bunch of people from the other department in the bank? Although it sounded like an option, knowing my boss, it wasn't an option. So I very excitedly said, yes, of course, no problem, sir. Off he went. And for the next 1 week, I was overwhelmed with the fear of public speaking. It was going to be the first ever. And I could see myself standing there. Googling that. I was Googling how to pretend to be dead on the day. Then the day itself arrived. As I was walking to the podium, and then I arrived at the podium. It was as if the floor is swaying under my feet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that sort of composure, with that sort of overwhelming fear on yourself, how do you think the presentation went?
Great.
Well, let me say, that was the longest 15 minutes of my life. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is looking at the faces of the audience, I could clearly see that was their also longest 15 minutes. Mr. Toastmaster, or rather Mango Master, fellow members and guests. There are two situations to deal with any fear, right? One is to deal with it head on, or the other is to run away from it. I chose the easy one, the latter one. Until I came to hear about Toastmaster in 2021. And I straight away joined it. Having joined the Toastmaster about late last year, it was the best decision of my life. Okay, it has proved to be the best decision of my life. Having DTM Sameer as your mentor, you couldn't ask for the best one. And then on a weekly basis, to have TM Imran to guide you, to look through your speeches, to give you feedback, is the best of the life. And I can't thank him enough for that. Thank you, sir. But ladies and gentlemen, I think that the mentoring should be as rudimentary as schooling or as college. It should be built in every stage of the life, and I have missed that there. Let me give you some example from my grown-up. So back in the school, I would be bullied daily. People will call me names. I will come home feeling melancholic, feeling sad. Not an enticing situation at all, is it, going to school? I just wish at that time I had known DTM Ali Chanjo. I would come to him. He will console me in his emotional, soothing voice. Here, Fahim, come here. Let's cry together. Let's laugh together. You know? And I would be like as tranquil as anything. The next day I would walk into the school, I would be smiling. People would bully me, I would smile. Oh, spread the love that DTM Ali Ansharanju has given me. See, life would be perfect. But as you grow old, come to college life. Priorities changed. You see, I remember my first day in the school. It wasn't which subject you've chosen, why you've chosen this, how was your school, what grade. It wasn't that. She's going out with him, he's going out with her, whom you're going out with, and it's all about that. People will ask me again, okay, whom you're going out with? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm going out later to get some groceries that my mom has. At that time, I had wished I had known DTM Sir Sarfaraz. Imagine the mentoring I would have got from him. Instead of on my phone having Salman, Khurshid, Shaukat, I would have Simran, Samina, Sidra, Sohail, Parveen, Nasreen. The life would have been sorted. The value of mentorship at that stage. But you see, then I would have so many people, so many relationships to manage, so many girls there. What do you need then? A multitasking ability to do this. And who is best in this? Our very own DTM Talha bin Hamid, right? Although he probably would not appreciate that his guidance is being used in this way, but there is so much to learn from him. Again, no problem. 5 girls, no problem. no mistake message is going to another window or something because you have the guidance from him, right? But again, the moon, oh my gosh, there's college, everything, the studies, probably working as part-timer as well. It drains your energy, doesn't it? Just weighs you down. And where do you find the reserve energy? Nowhere. Only one. TM Rabia Zishan. You are down, have 2 sessions with her. You'll be bouncing off the walls. You sit 2 minutes on the sofa. Oh my God, it's been 2 minutes. I'm not doing nothing. Come on, let's go. So that's her. Right? And but life needs to have some fun. Okay, you're just running around, you're finding the reserve energy. You need some fun. Where do you find the mentor, which will bring some fun? TM Zishan and TM Latif Mansoor Ali. They would give you how to bring humor into everything. And sometimes you just have to wing it. You just are not prepared, you just have to wing it. That's where our very own TMGQ comes in. We see on a Wednesday evening what happens, 6:15, TM Imran calls TMGQ. You coming? Yes. Giving a speech. 6:15, you haven't told me before. Yeah, very good. See you in half an hour. Here's speaker number 2. You need to wing it, you need him as your mentor. So ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to make your mentorship part of every stage of the life. I'm glad I found it. I only regret it was too late. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Fahim, for this wonderful speech. I must say that those were the 15 minutes, longest 15 minutes of your colleagues, and these were the shortest 7 minutes of our lives. We just wanted you to speak more and more. Moving on to the next speaker, we have TM Mohammed Muzammil. Do we have?
Yes.
Yes, he's on. Okay, and he will be evaluated by DTM Ali Asharandrum. I would like to request DTM Ali Asharandrum to please come on the stage and introduce the speaker.
Is DTM Ali Ashar coming, or I should start?
It was just a moment. Muzammil, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you again for wisdom. Yes.
Should I start? Imran, can you hear me?
Recording in progress.
Yeah, Toastmaster Muzammil, you're there? Yes, you're there.
Okay, Toastmaster Muzammil, attaining wisdom, Toastmaster Mohammed Muzammil. Over to you.
All right, everybody.
Should I start, Ali?
Yes.
Yes, but you're not visible.
He is visible. Actually, there's a connection issue with our laptop.
Okay, you can continue with that, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I and you, and certainly all of us, We all want to attain the wisdom behind everything that exists around us. However, none of us are able to actually attain that wisdom, except a few. So why is that so? And who are those people who really are able to attain that level of wisdom? This is the question that I asked myself when I had been thinking about wisdom, because wisdom is what has always enticed me to think about and to gain, and certainly to all of you too. So Toastmasters, after my personal experiences and some research, I came to a conclusion that the key to attain the wisdom is being a prepared mind. Toastmasters, there was once a scientist to whom someone said that whatever discoveries you scientists make, I don't believe that these have any role of yours. I mean, you guys just perform the experiments in laboratory, and if something new appears, or there's a flash, something new appears, then it is just spontaneous. It is no any role of yours. You just think over it and then analyze, and you just then discover an idea. So the scientist was shocked, but scientist replied that, okay, I agree that these discoveries are accidental occurrences. But why these incidents only happen with scientists? Why not with others? Why not with anyone else? Why not with me? Why not with you? So, Toastmasters, isn't it what I initially said, that the key to attain the wisdom is to have a prepared mind? So, aren't the scientists prepared? Do they don't study? Do they don't perform experiments through their strange and sophisticated tools that they do have? They do, they obviously do. So this is why they are able to, and in short, they make themselves a prepared mind in order to come with a certain or some conclusion if there is some unusual, or there is an unusual event appears. Just to bring a more clear picture before you, I would like to share a very famous incident. Fellow Toastmasters, there was once some food being cooked inside a vessel. Inside a vessel, there was some food being cooked, and suddenly and unexpectedly, the piston of the vessel, it went boom. The piston went upwards. So the scientist, or the person who was scientist sitting there at that moment, he observed that incident. He analyzed, and he discovered the idea of steam power. That is, he realized that when water is heated to a certain extent, the water is converted into steam power, and because of that steam power, the piston goes up. Now, Toastmasters, just think that instead of that scientist, during that event, there was a person who has never studied before. I mean, who doesn't even know the ABC of science or the even basic concepts. So if that person was there instead of the scientist, would he have been able to first think and then to analyze and then to come with the idea of steam power? Would he have been able to? No, absolutely not. So Toastmasters, always remember that there is always wisdom behind everything that is around us. if we only see and if we are only able to attain that wisdom. Just like the nectar is present inside the flowers. And if I want to extract that nectar out of the flowers, I won't be able to unless I become a honeybee, because only the honeybee knows the know-how. Only the honeybee knows how to get that nectar out and to carry it back then to its hive. If a mosquito tries to do the same, the mosquito won't be able to, because only the honeybee has been prepared for that task, not mosquito, or not you, or not me. The Toastmasters and guests, the thing to learn is that whoever wants to attain the wisdom, they will have to make themselves a prepared mind. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, TM Muzammil, for giving us a thought-provoking speech on wisdom and letting us know the importance that we should gain wisdom in order to attain excellence. Moving on to the next speaker, we are moving on to TM Rabia Tabassum. And we have his valued.
Enjoying the rain outside.
Who's his evaluator? TM Vishan.
यही lounge में
Yes, it's like this.
देखिए इमाम जरा सा भी एंगल मिल जाए ना इसके साथ तो हो जाती है, लेकिन क्या था बिल्कुल ही उल्टा।
It needs to look like this.
I think 25 degrees तक allow है, 25 या 45.
Okay, so what are we
We are waiting for TM Vishan or
Call-
should
Somebody
we?
is going to fast.
Ali,
Ali, yeah.
No, I didn't see him outside when I.
His phone is here.
Thank God I remembered I had it.
Vishan is stuck at the mosque.
Oh.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, there he is.
So we have TM Vishan.
How did you make it back up?
I would like to introduce TM Vishan to introduce the speaker, TM Rabia.
Thank you. She's here.
TM Vishan, please.
Oh, thank you. Hi everyone. Sorry for being late. It's raining a lot outside. I went to pray and God kept me there for a while. So Toastmaster Rabia is delivering a speech from titled "Understanding Your Leadership Style."
Yes.
Okay, and it's going to be for 5 to 7 minutes. And at this part, I found interesting. The speech should not be a report on understanding your leadership styles, but I think when you log in, it reads like a report. When you log in to the Toastmasters website, this section reads like a report. So it asks you not to do that. So good luck. And please welcome her.
Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests who have joined us today. Today, my project is all about leadership and what is your understanding your leadership style. Talking about myself, as far as I remember, since my childhood, I think I have been a leader. Whether it was with my friends or my cousins in school, I was always the one who was taking the lead and dictating which game we have to play and who will play which part. So whether it was in school plays, I even remember in class 4 children are quite young. So in class 4, I, with 5 of my group members, all girls, we decided to give a farewell party to the outgoing club metric section. And I was so confident in being the leader that I did not care to ask even the teacher or the principal. And we had the party and then we got a huge scolding from the principal as well. So, and I also remember people following me. they used to say, okay, whatever Rabia is saying, let's do that. Coming to my NED years, when I was in university, I was nicknamed. Can anyone guess what my class was called me? They called me the Dadi of the class. Grandmother, for those who do not know what Dadi means, grandmother of the class, because I took it upon me to make sure that everyone is behaving properly. You can imagine NED, very few girls, lots of boys, so the environment can get very rough. But the moment I stepped into the classroom, everyone was at their best behavior because they knew, okay, Rabia is here, we have to listen to her, and we have to behave properly, and we have to clean our department and use the bin, which I asked the student affairs to keep because we did not have any bins in NED's corridors before that. Then if we have any ladies who are married, because we do not have it here, you will understand that once you get married into a joint family system, your leadership goes to a flop. That is the time you start listening. But still, you get portions where you show your leadership. For example, bringing the monthly grocery or managing the servants at the home. Or if there is a party, what menu to be decided. So I was very good at that. And I always had the style of the democratic style and the altruistic style. It's very hard to pronounce that word, but which means that I always keep in mind what other people want in that environment. Life went on, 2018. I will talk about TCF. I joined TCF, and within 4 to 5 months, I went from a volunteer to a leader there as well. Now I lead a group of 120 volunteers at the Bagwan, and I am good at it because I think I do active listening. I empathize with everyone. I want to listen to everyone. I make them feel special, and that is a good quality that a leader can have. And I believe that I have all these good qualities. But sometimes these qualities, coaching style, the democratic style, and the altruistic styles, becomes a hindrance when you want to make something happen. So come to Toastmasters, KTC's club. We have to arrange a picnic. And I took the charge of doing that. Being the leader, I floated in the group. But I wanted to be democratic and altruistic. So I waited. I said, let's go to the seaside. Oh no, let's go to a fun house. Or we can also stay the night. And I'm waiting for people to respond. Silence. Then I ask in the in-person meeting, who is excited to plan a meeting? And I get 2 or 3 volunteers and I make a WhatsApp group and I add them. Again, I want to follow the democratic style and the altruistic style. I am failing at it. The date is coming nearer and nobody is giving their suggestions. And I'm the only one. And this is the time when I come to my authoritative style. So this is a style which works. When you see that when there are too many people who want to give suggestions, who are part of a program, just take 1 or 2 suggestions and then do whatever you think is best for the group, because no one will come to a consensus when you have a huge group. So if we keep on talking about, oh, let's go to the seaside, no, there are high tides, no, let's go to the fun house, no, the Bakrid Mandi is there, the traffic will be very bad, we cannot reach in time. Everyone will have an issue with everything. So what I did was made the WhatsApp group. I waited for 2 weeks for people to respond. When they did not, I took the charge and I decided, okay, people, we are going to the Fun Creation House on 3rd of July. So be ready for that. I decided the menu and floated. Nobody objected. So it's done now. We'll keep that one. Nobody even bothered to say, okay, add biryani. And I was waiting for that, but nobody did. So we are not going to have biryani. We'll just have the barbecue with the paratha. And it's a farmhouse. It's not a farmhouse. It's just a small fun recreational space where all of the KTC members who are in Karachi can come with their families as well. And we'll try to keep it as minimum per head as possible. It's going to be a fun event. I want all of you to come and attend that. And I need to tell you that this is happening because I used the authoritative style in the end. I tried to do active listening. and to ask everyone what about their opinion. I tried to do it the democratic way. I failed miserably. So it was time to do it the authoritative way, and that has worked. And I believe that a good leader is a one who has a balance of all these different leadership styles. You cannot depend on anyone. So if you are too accommodating and if you are too democratic, you will just keep on having opinions and nothing will get done. So have the opinions, have the suggestions, but in the hand, you have to take command and lead from the front. Let the crowd follow you. Do not follow the crowd. This was said by Margaret Thatcher, and I believe in it. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Remember the date, 3rd July.
Yes. Thank you, TM Rabia, for the wonderful speech. I guess it was 2 things, 1 speech. So everybody remembered the date, and she is a great leader. Just to give you a short experience which I had with her, today is my first day as a Toastmaster of a day. And she stepped herself to my WhatsApp chat and she advised me, she motivated me, and she is really helpful and she's really a good leader. So moving on to, I guess we are done with the speeches. Yes, bingo. So we are good to move on. Yes, all timer, we don't have the timer.
Actually, he's noted the timing, so
I guess all the speakers are qualified.
Yes, all
let me zoom on it.
Okay.
Amazing time.
So most importantly, I am qualified.
I think by 1 second.
Everyone else is disqualified. No, they're all qualified. Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
Oh,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, everyone is qualified.
Okay, great. So we are good to move towards our next session, and that is the table topic session. And guess who is the table topic master for the day? Our great leader, TM Rabia. Over to you, TM Rabia.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Mango Master of the day, Toastmaster, Mango Master, Okay, what did you say at the start? Toast Mango.
Toast Mango.
Toast Mango. We were having a lot of internet issues and I was like, oh, why didn't I reach on time to hear what he has to say? Because it was really a very enticing start to the day. Let's start with the table topic session and no, I have 4. First speech, I'll call Toastmaster Bilal. Please, can you come up on the stage?
Quick, everyone, so that we can
Yes,
add
be
more.
quick. Change. So the king of the fruits is mangoes. The king of the fruits is mangoes. Discuss. The word of the day is enticing.
Mango. I already feeling really enticing to eat mango as the king of the fruit, as you have Toastmaster Ravi already said. And every summer we all get really excited because it's the season that we all really waiting for to have our favorite fruit there. And one of the reason is that the mango is kind of a fruit which has not been, it's gentleness, has not been based on any direction. That has been favorite is like the biryani of the food that has been preferred by everyone. I haven't found anyone in my life who said I don't like mangoes, and it's one of the most that kind of food that you can easily guess that some person likes a mango. Someone say to me that what's my favorite fruit? Mango is the one that suddenly pops into my mind. And hopefully I was planning also to take out some mangoes to take out with my home, but as the rain is happening, I thought I have to drop that plan and slab with that loss with me. So that's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Master Pilar, and I agree that you hardly find someone who does not like mango, and we can easily guess whose favorite fruit might be. It must be mango. Next, I would like to call Toastmaster Shakil. Please come. So the topic I have for you is, what is your favorite mango dessert? sweet dish made of mango. And as he is a word master, I do not need to remind him of the word of the day.
Thank you, Ravi Chan. Yes, as I earlier said, the smell of the mangoes are very enticing. So, and dessert, I don't know so much about the names of the desserts, but the fruit truffle dessert in which mango involves, I like so much. So it's really, and as you were discussing, I don't know, Mufaddal was saying that the types of mangoes. So I like Langda, but I don't know what we said in English.
Malda. Limping mango.
So, mango I like so much. So, and also in my childhood, I was used to of taking mango with the shake, milkshake of mango. And in summer seasons, I was daily used to of taking mango shake in the morning, in the breakfast. So, and I don't think 99% of the people in Pakistan likes mango. So, and it's a blessing of God that in Pakistan we have a lot of mangoes, and my brother is living in America, and he told me that we bought mango and $2 and $3. So thank you very much. This
and I agree with you that I also believe that mango is a blessing from Allah Ta'ala on us, especially in Pakistan. There are so many mangoes, you see them all the way from Gulshan to Beach Luxury when I came over here. So you are exactly right. Yeah. It's the favorite and 99% of people like it. I would now like to request Toastmaster Mariana if she is available for a table topics.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So the table topic I have for you is your idea for a mango savory dish. We are very fond of mango sweet dishes, but if you had to choose a savory dish or if you had to imagine one, what would be your idea of a mango savory dish? The word of the day is enticing.
Thank you very much, Madam Topics Master. And yes, a big bowl of mango is always enticing and starts my imagination going. And of course, first thing it goes to sweet dishes. But I do love to create savory dishes with fruits. So I usually start the dish with my regular staple ingredients: onion, garlic, oil or butter, and put some basic vegetables in there. And at the end, I would like to add some sweetness to it, either raisin, or in this case, I will put chunks of mango. And I steam it all together, add some spice, like, I would put in this definitely black pepper, because that's my staple, with a bit of salt and some nutmeg, and maybe, let's go with tarragon. And I steam it together, and I would have a bowl of quinoa on the side. And I think that would make an excellent dish as a savory dish. Thank you very much, Madam Topics Master.
You made my mouth water with that detailed description of the enticing dish you are about to prepare. I think we should all try it because we have a lot of variety of mangoes. Do we have time for one more? The last one, quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So Toastmaster Maryam Aftab, are you there with us?
Yes.
Yes, she's there. And she's ever ready, so I don't need to ask her.
Yeah.
Your opinion or your judgments on the people who eat mango pulp with paratha at breakfast.
Wow.
People who eat mango pulp with paratha as a breakfast. Word of the day is enticing.
Why you want me to judge my in-laws? So bad.
I guess that much.
No, I said comment or judge.
I cannot do that. There is a famous song that I cannot translate in English, so you have to bear with me. It says "Aam todo roti aam khalo," and I have been hearing it's like you pick aam and you pick roti and you eat it. I have been hearing this song, and my father used to sing whenever he wants us to eat roti and mango, because mango is something that for it. And trust me, living can smell mangoes, but I can tell you this is not from Pakistan. Come on, this is not the real mango. And the thing that attracts us most is the food. The mangoes, how we use it, how we eat it. We have variety, we have options. Oh my God, you just bring mangoes, we bring things and unique things to eat with it. And paratha and roti is one of those. What are you saying? Why should I judge someone like this? I will not. I'm not that kind of a brother-in-law. So yes, I will want it, enjoy it.
You've gone mute.
No, she went mute.
Can you hear me? I said,
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Maring Maftab. We are having a rainstorm outside, and therefore the internet connections are working very poorly here. From the first half of your speech, you talked about my favorite childhood song, Munna Bada
I
Pyara.
said, it's enjoy mango with whatever food you want.
Okay, so let us keep going.
Yeah.
So the song that you mentioned is Munna Bada Pyara from a very, very old film, and it was one of my favorite childhood songs. Thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Maring Maftab. And that's it for the table topic session today. Yes. And we now hand back to Toastmaster of the day.
30 minutes for the test.
Has everyone
Yes,
qualified?
everyone is qualified. I have wrote the work. Please
Come stand here. We are the two people who literally took the
Yeah.
theme seriously and wore yellow clothes today.
Yes,
Wow. Yeah.
You were told to bring mangoes or mango ice cream, but
Yeah.
One day, me and my mother went for the grocery, and my mother forgot the mangoes in the cart. So she said that Mufadil, go and bring those mangoes from the cart. So I went and started searching for the mangoes, but I couldn't find it. And later we realized that we didn't bought any mangoes. So it was a fruitless search. So moving on to our third session, since everybody is qualified, we are moving on to the evaluation sessions. Since the evaluation is the feedback, evaluation is the breakfast for the champions. So we have the table topic evaluator, TM Ghulam Wali. Do we need to do this prepared speech evaluation? Oh yes, I will.
Yeah, no worries there. I'm just trying to, it's having a bit of connectivity issues. So, yeah. Yeah, you're done with the intro? Or
I'm about to call the evaluator. So we are doing the evaluations.
No, you call the general evaluator.
Okay. So the general evaluator is DDM Talabin Ahmed. Please, I would like to welcome Talabin Ahmed for the general evaluator.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, continuing the hot mango chutney sauce theme today. Very few people know about that song, right? Anyhow, our first speaker is DTM Sarfraz, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Hiba Rais Khan.
So Toastmaster Hiba, over to you.
DTM Sarfaraz, you had an interesting title to your speech as an icebreaker. For an icebreaker, during the time you spoke, you had good clarity in your speech, and I could hear you clearly. Also, during the time you spoke, you had good eye contact, and I constantly found you looking at the camera. The audience were quite aware about what you were speaking, and I could detect no signs of hesitation, and you had good comfort level during your speech. The way you had constructed the speech, you had us hooked on to it with good and with interest. However, there were some areas of improvement which I found in your speech. Firstly, it lacked vocal variety, and you could have incorporated it into it. Yes. Secondly, you could have also used a bit of more body gestures to express yourself during your speech. Thirdly, since it's been a long time, you last delivered your icebreaker, so you could have incorporated a bit of more facts about yourself in the speech. Other than that, the speech was perfect, and overall, it was a pretty good speech, which was well delivered. And best of luck for the next project.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hiba. Are you done?
Yes.
All right, thank God. We move on. We move on to our next evaluator. Just give me a second. I seem to have lost the. Yeah, there it is. Oh, all right. Oh, I am the next evaluator. Actually. All right, and my speaker is DTM Braham Memon. So, Mr. Timer, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah. All right. So, DTM Braham, Global Leadership Impact Summit. First of all, right off the bat, I must admire your vision and your ambition, because inspiration is all about vision and ambition, and you delivered it in spades. You laid out clearly that why do you want 1,000 people to attend, because that's the upper limit of Zoom. And I'm sure that if the upper limit were 10,000, you would have targeted 10,000. So your ambition is only limited by what's possible. And that's something really very inspiring. You had very good greetings. You had a forceful start, very good vocally. Your voice carries very well across thousands of kilometers and across the faulty internet connections that we have and across the tropical storm that we are having outside. Your voice carried very well. You had amazing eye contact and confidence, and that also delivered your vision very well. Your story behind this project is very inspiring for me personally, and I believe for every Toastmaster. Since you've been a Toastmaster for 26 years, you have to think of something different. You have to think of something bigger and more large scale than you've ever done before. And I believe that this project is a perfect fit for that. And your call to action was really very concrete and very nice. And that was for all of us to attend this event. And of course, we will all be honored to attend this event. Some improvement areas. First of all, I felt that your start was slightly shaky. That's my feeling. I may be wrong, but it was not as sure as the rest of your speech. It could have been inspirational. You could have started with something of an imagery that envision 1,000 people, one summit, all leaders, and without any backing from any worldwide organization, all common together for one cause, and that is to celebrate service leadership. That would have been something very inspiring and something attention-grabbing versus what you chose to start with. You used right quite a bit during your speech, and that smacked of something like a lack of maybe self-assurance, if I dare say so, or maybe a lack of finality of content. It may be your go-to word when you speak, but in this context, it came across as something less than reassuring. and you could have used more vocal variety in your speech. That would have really added to the inspirational impact of your speech. So I believe you achieved the objective of the project very admirably. Your vision is grand, your ambition is infectious, and we should all take after it. And you have a very interesting story behind it. The only improvement areas are you could have used a little more vocal variety, a little more emotion in conveying your vision. But overall, a project well delivered. Congratulations and best of luck for the Global Leadership Impact Summit. Over to you. So, with that, we have our next evaluator, who is Toastmaster GQ. Sorry, Toastmaster Ghulam Kadir. Yeah. We're so fond of calling him GQ that, many people would not know his real name. So, over to you.
Okay. So, Toastmaster Kadri. Painful instinct. And yes, it is really painful. Especially those who are sitting in this room and our parents as well. They can easily relate to this speech and to this the project. So a perfectly well-drafted content as to what sort of pain the parents go through. You very well defined all 4 versions. How the first version, what the first version does, what the second version does, and the third version does, and the fourth one. And then sitting over there, and I was wondering, mine is 1 equals to the 10th version. So I can imagine what sort of situation you and Nitin Tagla go through with all these 4 versions. Right? So hats off to you for managing all the 4 versions. So as far as coming to the speech content, the body, the opening, and the closure, it was very well drafted. The agenda, the objective of your speech was to incorporate the previously feedback given in your first speech, the evaluation feedback. This was the second speech. And I think there was, while you were delivering the speech, there was no electricity in your place, from the place where you were delivering. But the way you delivered, we could not imagine that there is no electricity. Your voice, the technology was perfect. The internet connection. Please do tell us what sort of internet connection you are using so that we can subscribe to that as well. Because we could not feel that there is no electricity at your place. And especially the lights which were just coming on your face and which was covering totally your body from head to the more what we could see on the camera. So the stage movement was much better as compared to the previous one. So you have covered the objective as far as the objective of that speech is concerned. Overall, I will give you, as always, full marks. You are a champion speaker. Keep up the good work. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ghulam Kadir. And while you were comparing your version 1 to our various versions, let's not go there. You have absolutely no freaking idea. So yeah, we strongly urge you to spend the day with us to make up your mind. Next, we had our enticing icebreaker, Toastmaster Bijar, by equally enticing Toastmaster Vasaya.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Bijar Khan. Look, I am not trying to flatter you, but it was actually a great icebreaker.
Yeah.
No doubt it was an actually great icebreaker. Started by telling the history of your name. Like, sorry, I can't do that with mine. Born in Karachi with your O levels, A levels, definitely it was looking like that. You are from IBA. Toastmaster Ghulam Kadir is also from IBA. You told us about your love for sunsets, and that gutsy thing which you told us about, that you going into that zoo and getting missed out by everyone and everything, it definitely, reflects in your personality. When you were talking about that, you left your job and you started going for CS, you gave that CSS attempt. That itself is a gutsy thing. So it does reflect that part. Your love for sunsets, everybody loves sunsets, but 2 hours are too much. Another thing, the best part, what you said about the own your failures. I guess that's the most important thing, because if we don't own our own failures, then we cannot improve ourselves. Nobody here is perfect, but we need to diagnose what the mistakes we are making. So that was the best thing that you pointed out. Coming to the strong areas, your hand gestures were on point. You amalgamate the self-depreciating humor, self-deprecating humor, whatever you say that. Right thing. And there is one thing that I love, and that was your smile. That smile of yours was actually radiating optimism everywhere. And we were really looking towards you, and you have grabbed our attention through your smile. One thing about improvement areas, it would be really ridiculous to say right now, but one thing that I would say is about the vocal variety. You go for high pitch or you go to low pitch, but again, it goes when you go on to further speeches. It's not something for right now, but I'm pointing out something from that further part, so it itself tells us that how good of a speaker you are already. So we are looking forward to your further speeches. So keep speaking. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next evaluator is twice champion of KPC's International Speech Contest and second place winner of International Video Speech Contest.
Third place winner.
Third place winner of Toastmaster International Video Speech Contest, and that video speech contest is actually the contest for districts that are not full districts like us, and our contestants do not make it to World Championship of Public Speaking, so there's an alternate contest which pools all those clubs, and those are like 250 or 300 clubs around the world. And he won third place in that. He's very good as an evaluator. and the target speaker is Toastmaster Fahim Razak.
So much. General evaluator, DDM Talha, and there's a burden of pressure on me right now, so I'm almost forgetting my evaluation. Thanks to you. Thanks to you. All right, Toastmaster Fahim Razak. Yeah. What a good speech it was. A good sense of humor, somebody once said, that is a major offense against minor troubles. I don't know who said that, but whenever I see your speech, you always bring some humor into your evaluations, whatever you are doing. Even if you are presenting a table topic, you always bring some humor. That is a very rare and a very powerful tool to have for a speaker, because the humor is that if you have that, this is one of the killer tools which will instantly connect you with the audience. You will never lose your audience attention if you are using humor in your speech. This is a tested and tried out formula. So those wins, I also use that tool in my wins. Okay. So punch after punch. Throughout your speech, there was not a dull moment. Everybody was laughing, and I don't know if you wrote that speech or it was because I felt that some part of it was impromptu, and it was very well done. How you included everyone by mentioning their name, you acknowledged Toastmaster Imran, DTM Samir, and you include how you describe the personality traits of Toastmaster Ali, Toastmaster Anam, Toastmaster Rabia, and so on and so forth. So, you brought everybody within your speech. When you mention somebody's name, they're instantly looking at you. Oh, he's mentioning me. So half of the club was, with you already. So opening, so for the opening part, I felt you must include a little bit of pause when you start to speak. You shook my hand and I was not even seated and you started talking. So it's your time starts when you start talk, so give yourself some time to be present here and get the feel of the room and the audience, then you may start to talk. I felt you were in a rush, or I don't know, maybe you wanted to see the rainstorm outside. Okay, so one more tip that I would like to give you was, I felt that when you brought your boss into the scene, you conveyed the message into the same tone. We didn't feel that there are two personalities in the scene. You didn't change your tone. Maybe you could involve some vocal variety when your boss said, Fahim, would you like to give the presentation? So that could have been done, okay. And there were some crisp punches, good opening, and also the conclusion was very good. So overall, the speech was very powerful and very engaging. I really liked your speech. I wish to see you in the coming humorous speech contest as well. The one area of improvement is that the project demanded for you to bring some story or your experience as a prodigy, and you didn't mention that. I didn't see it in your speech. So that is the only area of improvement I would like to give you. Other than that, fantastic job. Over to you, Jagger.
The problem with champion speakers is that their list of wishes that they want the speaker to do stretches into months. See, Toastmaster Javed, Toastmaster Fahim did not prepare his speech for 3 months, unlike you. So, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think it's hard to imagine a better set of feedback in such a short time. So, thank you so much. Next, we have DVM Ali Ashar Anjum evaluating Toastmaster Mohammad Muzammil.
Toastmaster Mohammad Muzammil, attaining wisdom. I must acknowledge that you opt a wonderful topic, a topic that hooked all of us before you uttered a single word. And your content was so concrete and well knitted together that I can feel the coherency there. You use scientific phenomena to concrete your message, and you also express your idea with conviction. And the project was about body language and vocal variety. First, on your body language, your hand movement was amazing. Thank you. Your hands were synchronized with your ideas and what you are trying to say. However, you can improve your hand gestures were more like this. You can use more gestures to enhance the illusion of body language in your speech. When you are presenting virtually, so we can also see your face very well. So you can also use your facial expressions to convey your message. So you can challenge yourself in the adding some more vocal variety, using your stage well, and so practice your speech that will going to give you more energy while you are speaking. Overall, your speech was amazing and content was concrete and well knitted. Just work on your vocabulary and a bit on body language, and you are a great speaker. So over to the general manager.
So much, and it turned out that I missed one evaluation. And where were all you guys? Nobody reminded me. Yeah.
Yeah, he was standing for.
Yeah, actually, and I missed out. Apologies, sir. So DTM Surprise is twice semi-finalist of World Champion of Public Speaking, and my speech was like 20 minutes long. So heaven help me. Over to you, DTM. Over to you, DTM Surprise.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and especially you, DTM Talha bin Hamid. Even before you got up to give your speech, I knew that you are going to meet the objective and the purpose of your speech, which was simply to develop and present a longer speech. I would have been surprised if the speech was less than 18 minutes. You did qualify. I'm going to tell you about some of the mangoes you provided us during your speech. When you began talking about quantum physics, for a moment, I thought I was in the wrong meeting. I thought I logged into Quantum Leap Toastmasters Club meeting and not the KTC meeting. I said, oh, I need to log off and log in. But then I realized, no, you were giving that speech in the right club and I was in the right club. Perhaps this could have been a joint meeting between Quantum Leap and KTC. You said that you are not a scientist, yet you gave a great speech on quantum physics and quantum coupling. Can you imagine what would become of the world if you were a scientist? What I loved about your speech was that you took a technical presentation, technical material, and associated with relationships and marriage to make it very simple for some of us who think like fourth graders. And we heard that fourth graders are dumb. I also like the fact that you sprinkled humor in your speech when you said, and the girl says, what the? We knew what the next word was, even though you did not mention it. I also heard some of the Toastmasters in the meeting room laughing when you said, imagine a boy getting married and imagine the boy giving birth to 4 children. Well, I can imagine a boy giving birth to 1 child, maybe 2, because sometimes men don't learn from their mistakes. But imagining giving them birth to 3 or 4, that's hard to imagine. When you mentioned a boy, girl getting married and having 4 children, for a moment I thought, that is your story. But then you brought in a conflict, a twist. It was not your story, and you told us, hey, this is not my story. Because we were wondering, what is Toastmaster Anum Qadri? Because she was online. Now, what can you do to improve? During the speech, there were several times when I noticed you were looking at the monitor. You kept on turning. Anytime you did that, I lost you. It was a great speech, a technical speech presented in simple words. You had humor, you had vocal variety, but let's not look at the monitor. Put a laptop in front of you. I enjoyed your speech and I look forward to your next speech. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Wow, thank you so much, DTM Surprise. And true to your credentials, you delivered an evaluation that was more entertaining than the speech, if I dare say so. Next, we have Yeah, we have Toastmaster Mohammed Muzammil and yeah, his evaluation. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
already done.
Yeah, the only one left is Toastmaster Vishan Aziz. Time to adjust the camera once again. his target speaker is Toastmaster Rabia Dishan.
Toastmaster Rabia gave a very nice speech about leadership. And I wanted to start by the concluding sentence that she had, let the crowd follow you, not follow the crowd. And I think if Margaret Thatcher didn't say, I think you would come up with something like that. You are a great leader. I know you're already leading 120 or 110? 120 volunteers.
Yes.
So that in itself is, I mean, imagine this room, we have maybe 10, 15 people, so 10 of these rooms, and they're listening to you. So that is a big achievement. And I'm sure in the future, there will be even more. So looking at the speech, right from the beginning, when you started, you had gestures and you included the online audience and no one felt left out. I noticed when DTM Talha was gone somewhere and he came back, you included him in it as well. He didn't look like he was not there. He was engaged from the very moment he came. So that was nice. You talked a lot about the shortcomings of the democratic style, and that's good that you went on this journey and you've discovered it your own way, whichever one suits you. And what else did I have? Oh, you translated the word, which is apparently a very big thing here. So that was a very simple word, but nonetheless, you did it, mindfully did it. Your leadership journey until today, I don't think has ended. I think it's going to go much further. I'm sure everyone can agree on that. And if I could just offer one piece of advice for your speech, it would be that when you were saying that, oh, I got no response from the group, because on many occasions you did, I think 3 or 4 occasions, you immediately said, I got nothing. Like you could have just done that and nothing would happen. I just want to give you an extreme about that for everyone. When maybe some people remember this, when Michael Jackson was alive and he would do his concert, in one of his concerts, he stood still on the stage for 10 minutes, not moving. And the crowd, people were fainting, people were screaming. So just the power of silence, you know. So that really happened, it's true. So anyways, again, you have a big future ahead in leadership, and I'm sure it's going to be a good one. And on behalf of everyone here, it's going to be a nice watching you grow.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vishan. How did you know?
What's the
about future ahead in leadership? Do we have WikiLeaks or something? Anyhow, let's not go there. Next, we are through with the evaluations.
All the evaluators are qualified.
All right, with great sorrow, our timer informed us that all evaluators are qualified. So the vote is being floated, and next we move on to our grammarian, Toastmaster Hiba Reis Khan. Sorry. Table topics evaluator, yeah. You can tell I'm playing this role after ages, so yeah. So we have our table topics evaluator, once again, Toastmaster GQ.
So our table topic master was Toastmaster Rabia. And let me tell you guys that this table topic was full of energy as always. Whenever she comes on this stage, you can feel the energy in this room, right? So the theme was mangoes, and the table topics, all the 4 of the table topics were quite related to it. So the first speaker was Toastmaster Bilal, and his topic was King of the Fruit. And of course, the king of the fruit was mango. He explained why this mango is his favorite fruit. Just one observation, and maybe that's an area of improvement which you can incorporate in your future speeches. But he was looking at this one only direction. Try to maintain eye contact with the audience. If you maintain eye contact with the physical audience, it will automatically maintain with that camera. So just try to look in this direction, that direction, and then like as you can easily notice that my eye contact is with the online audience as well. So it will play on both the sides. So then it was Toastmaster Shakil. What is your favorite mango dessert? And the favorite mango dessert, mine as well, is the fruit trifle. And you explained it very well why this is your favorite dessert and what are the why do you like mango as well? So very well explained, just a little bit of improvements in the body language which is required, rest it's perfectly fine. Then we had Toastmaster Maria, your idea for enticing Maria.
Mariam.
Mariam.
Sorry, no, Mariana.
Mariana. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. Mariana.
Yeah.
Okay, Mariana. And her topic was your idea for enticing savory dish. She explained it so well, then it was all mouth-watering for all of us. Last but not the least, as always, our table topic champion, Toastmaster Mariam Aftab. She started off with a very nice song, and I would definitely like to sing that as well. After this completion of this table topic. And her topic was comment on the people. Why do they eat mango pulp with paratha at breakfast? So immediately she got the attention by relating it to her in-laws. Right? And you were all excited like this. Okay, now what's going to come next? And you wanted to listen to it. And as always, she explained it very well. And also she explained very well as to those people who are living outside Pakistan and how they can easily judge that this mango is from Pakistan and this mango is from abroad. So the song was Munna bada pyara, ammi ka dulara, munna bada pyara, ammi ka dulara, koi kahe chand, koi aankh ka tara, ek din wo maa se bola, kyun phukti hai chula, kyun na rotiyon ka पेड़ हम बना ले आम तोड़े रोटी आम खा ले काहे करे रोज रोज ये बखेरा. Over to you.
Walked on the stage, off the stage without translating that song. We are big on translations here. Toastmaster Vishal just made it very clear. So no, but then you're disqualified. Like then you fail the originality.
With the same vocal variety.
You fail the
I
originality.
said an audio on the way.
Okay, now we move on to the facilitators, and by some miracle we are exactly on time. So let's keep it that way, and let's move on to our grammarian, Toastmaster Raisa.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, as the grammarian, this time I couldn't detect any grammatical mistakes or any incorrect usage of words or phrases during the prepared speeches and the table topic session. So my report is completely blank. Okay, that's about it.
That results in another conclusion that you also could not detect any good usage.
There were good usages.
But okay, we'll take that. There are some meetings where nobody speaks good language. Next, we have our timer, Toastmaster Imran.
We are on time.
Yeah, that's the
Now
report.
don't make us wait with the report.
Okay, congratulations. We started at 6:31. So applaud yourself. That the president ended up his introduction within time.
For the first time, or for the second time ever.
You shouldn't have said that.
Okay, Sarfaraz Nazir, he took 5 minutes and 49 seconds. Then DTM Talha took 21 minutes and 12 seconds. Then Toastmaster Bijar took 6 minutes and 2 seconds. DTM Braham took 7 minutes 12 seconds. Toastmaster Anand Kavi took 5 minutes and 58 seconds. Fahim Razak took 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Muhammad Muzammil took 5 minutes and 54 seconds. And Toastmaster Rabia took 6 minutes and 48 seconds. The table topic speakers, Toastmaster Bilal took 1 minute and 18 seconds. Toastmaster Shakib took 1 minute and 34 seconds. I'm sure Toastmaster Maria and Toastmaster Mariam Aftab, they both were on time.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
They were.
And the evaluators, we had all the evaluators were on time. So
Thank you so much, our
perpetual title. Next, we had our accountant Toastmaster Mohammed Muzammil.
Word of the day.
Oh, sorry. Word Master Toastmaster Shakil. Please present your report.
I tried to report perfectly, but maybe missed one or two. Anyway, DTM Sarfraz Nazir used once, Mufaddil once, Talabin Hamid once, Fahim Razaf once, Rabia Zishan 3 times, Bilal once, me twice, and Mariana once. Anyone left? I think I did all.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Thank you so much, Word Master. And yes, your word was enticing enough so that most of us ended up using it. Congratulations on that. Now, imagine something that you don't like that has mangoes.
We don't like and that is mangoes.
Yeah, based on mangoes.
Sorry?
Sorry?
Those are people love the gutli. He's saying the gutli.
Oh, imagine a rotten mango.
Yes.
Nobody likes that, right?
I don't like
And
mango.
if you mistakenly eat that, how would you feel? In order to rekindle that feeling, we have our accountant. Toastmaster Mohammed. So over to you.
Fellow Toastmasters, it was the first time that I'm playing my accountant role, and happily I'm happy that there were no too much asked. All the prepared speakers were good in their speeches, and their language was very good. So, but lately there were two, I guess, table topic speakers. First one was TM Bilal. So he used some asks. So I noted that. So TM Bilal, some improvement is needed for your ask. And the next speaker was TM Shakiluddin, and he also took some unnecessary or not needed pauses. So these are just two speakers who were, and also myself, I'm noting myself right now. So I'm also using too many asks, but let's hope for the best. We will try to improve. This is it.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Muzammil. And that was not a rotten mango by any means. So thank you so much for that. Next, we had our listener Toastmaster Vase. Over to you. Everyone online, please unmute because quick answers are needed.
My plan is finished today. 9 speeches. Too much work.
8 speeches.
Yeah, sorry, 8 speeches. My bad.
Equivalent to 11, but
My bad. But we will start from DTM Sarfaraz. I'll try to make it quick, but I won't. Which country did DTM Sarfaraz named when the prisoners asked him?
Canada.
From Canada, right? What did the prisoner wanted to do before getting into the jail?
Eat mango.
He
wanted to bail his sister out of jail.
Oh.
And he broke into the police center. Yeah. Then we go to DTM Talabin Hamid. You know, I was really perplexed that I haven't been a science student from the start. I was really perplexed that it was good or bad thing after this. What was the favorite dish of the boyfriend?
Nihali.
Yeah, nice.
Nihali was favorite for both.
Yes.
Yeah. Long distance relationship, identical lives, identical kids. Which concept?
Quantum conflict.
Quantum entanglement.
Yeah.
DTM Brahm Memin, I was really impressed by your persuasive skills the whole time. DTM Brahm Memin has been member of Toastmasters for how many years?
26 years.
DTM Brahm Memin is from which?
Canada.
Right. Around how many people are participating in the event?
Wow, that was an effective speech.
What does Bajar means?
Brave.
places where Toastmaster Bijal loved the sunsets.
Dubai and
And
Old Mara and Dubai.
Old Mara and Dubai. Okay. Why don't parents leave their children at home?
because they want to go again.
I'll take that answer. That's fine. Okay. Which version taught them how to live a zombie life? How to live a zombie life?
Second one.
No, second one.
Yeah.
Second one.
I shouldn't.
Excruciating experience.
Excruciating.
Which speaker?
Team fame.
He's right my speech, no?
What made TM Fahim depressed at school?
Bullying.
Yeah.
And girlfriends.
What is the key to wisdom according to TM Toastmaster Muhammad Muzammil? Key to wisdom.
Preparing your prepared.
Prepared mind. Yeah. What do you have to become to extract the nectar?
Honeybee.
Honeybee.
Knife.
Correct. Honeybee. Toastmaster Rabia. Rabia. My bad. Apologies. You know, I won't argue about that you are definitely a born leader. Nobody would argue about that. What was Toastmasters? What was her nickname at university? What is the good quality of leader she told us about?
Authoritative.
You're having a balance.
Democracy.
Need to have all four styles.
Making people feel special. That's the most important. Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rabia. Your nickname was Act because guess what? You were born in. All right. We are through with the facilitators. So please float the poll for best facilitator, and we move on with the evaluation of the meeting in journal. So first of all, a standing ovation is in order for all of us. Unbeknownst to the online participants, at least those who have the power, we are having a freaking tropical storm outside, and somehow we continued the meeting through it. Yeah, I was having a conversation with another district leader, and I told him that, you know, we were having a meeting through this storm, and you know, he said that, "Are you guys crazy? You should go home." And I told him that in Karachi, this is safer than home in such scenarios. So thank you all for making it here. Thank you all for sitting through this abnormally hot day. And it's not really their fault because even outside it has been abnormally hot all day. So the meeting started bang on time, and most importantly, all the role players were here. So that is thoroughly impressive. We had a very heavy agenda, and somehow Toastmaster Imran pulled it off by keeping the meeting in time. But let me point out, before giving him a round of applause, let me point out that one speaker withdrew. So, but even then, if they hadn't withdrawn, we would have added like 10 minutes to the time, and we would have been well within time even then. Given how these things go, the meeting was supposed to end. Oh, yeah. We've still got 10 minutes till official meeting end time. So we are exactly on time. So no, I take my words back, and by some miracle and you know, Toastmaster Rabia's constant motivation for us to manage the meeting in time, we have managed to get through the agenda well within time. So congratulations, everyone. I really cannot say more because the speeches have been so amazing throughout. Each and every speech have its own flavor. It engaged us in a different way. The table topics were done amazingly well. Today, what I felt was that maybe some of the facilitator roles could have been more incisive.
But again, I don't really blame them because it was that kind of meeting where we had very few errors, if any, and that I observed personally. So all in all, a great meeting, a great agenda with an amazing variety of projects. If you see, almost all levels of a pathway are covered in one single agenda. And the icing on the cake was our two very special guests from abroad, DTM Ram and DTM Mariana. Moving on, I would request them. First of all, thank them for sitting patiently through the meeting and please share your brief remarks. Sorry? Yeah, DTM Ram. DTM Ram.
Okay, thank you. It's a bit difficult in a hybrid meeting to understand who's being called when. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for allowing me to speak about the Global Leadership Impact Summit over all the way to you in Karachi. Thank you, DTM Talha bin Hamid, for being part of the board member of the project itself. And the reason why I came to Talha bin Hamid to be on the board is that because he leads one of the top districts on the planet and the top club on the planet. Of course, Karachi Toastmasters is known to be the top club, and hence, why wouldn't I be here? And that is the only reason why I'm here, is because you are doing something awesome. The fun that you're having, the laughter, yet you're learning how to speak and communicate is just amazing. Thank you so much for having me here.
Next, I would invite Toastmaster Mariana. Please share your thoughts.
Thank you very much, first of all, having me here today. And it was a pleasure to be here with you guys. You are so lively, and yet the agenda was really full, lots of speeches, and I really enjoyed, and I hope I can come back again some other time. And good luck with your program. Thank you.
It was an honor to have you, and we look forward to you joining our meeting again. We are trying constantly to push the boundaries of what's possible within a single meeting, and I hope we are achieving our purpose. So the purpose behind calling you to work, because you have been patiently with us for hours. So now I'll hand over the charge to our Toastmaster of the day.
Conclusion. Yes, sorry. With the conclusion. Okay, so we had enticing, mangoish, pulpy, delicious meeting today, and I'll definitely be eating many mangoes after going to. If I reach safely these things, there'll be a lot of water outside. So that's all from my side, and I wish you all the very best.
Vote for
Yes,
vote for the big
Ask
four.
for votes.
Yes. Do we
Please
have
cast
votes?
vote for the Toastmaster of the day.
Mango Master.
Oh, yes. So, do we have the results? Okay, so yes.
Yeah. So
hand over the charge. I would like to invite Mr. President.
Thank you so much. Apologies for that awkwardness. I overstayed my welcome as the general evaluator. I should have handed it over to you. But I just wanted to call our two Canadian guests early-ish. So I believe Toastmaster Ali, the results are ready. Yes. All right. I will call you in a moment before, but let me announce the Critics' Choice results first. And Critics' Choice Award is divides 50% between rating of a speech as per International Speech Contest ballot, and 50% according to how well a project adhered to the objectives of the project. So 50% rating is done by a secret judge from within this meeting, and 50% is done by the evaluators themselves, who rate a project out of 10, and both ratings are combined by our VP Education. Wow. So he is solely responsible for the results. So, all right. So third place today goes to Toastmaster Rabia Zishan. Second place goes to DTM Talha bin Hamid. And first place goes to someone who made us laugh the most. Toastmaster For the voting results, DTM Ali, please come on the stage.
Thank you so much. So the best speaker. Can anyone guess who? Yes. Yes. Today he is a mango of fire. The best evaluator. No. It's the oldest, but the sweetest. Yes.
The youngest.
Yes. Sorry, sir.
Age is just a number.
Yes. Okay. Best table topic speaker. She never disappoint like mango. Yeah. Toastmaster who is the best facilitator? Yes. Best in Big Four is the guardian of the kingship of the mango, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What a delightful meeting. And yeah, it was enticing. It was mangoes. You know, we are forbidden to use any food-related imagery in Toastmaster branding. So that is why I did not bring the mangoes that I planned to bring, because because those would have appeared in the video, and then our video would have been taken down by Toastmasters, and we would have been fined and expelled from our leadership roles. So that's the only reason I didn't bring the mango that I planned to bring. Maybe sometime in a non-Toastmasters meeting, we can have.
No.
Yeah,
He can compensate by paying us 1 kg of mangoes.
So my special compliments to our table topics winner, Toastmaster Mariam. Not only she manages to win every time, but she manages to purpose every topic towards her in-laws. Toastmaster Mariam, please do not have too many discussions with Toastmaster. So now we are just winding up, and a couple of announcements. Do we have? We have a guest, Toastmaster Ittihad. Toastmaster Ittihad, would you like to share your thoughts with us? I think she's away. Anyhow. So again, just to reiterate a couple of important announcements. First of all, our humor speech contest is this Saturday, and next week we will have an unlimited speakathon, which means that we will not cap the number of speeches. If it extends to 2 days, it can extend. We have had a speakathon that extended to 2 months. So it would be a perfect way to end the year. And that's pretty much it. Do we have something else to announce?
Yes,
Yes. Toastmaster Ravi.
Yeah.
And plus the meeting with the district to about the ExCom.
But that is for ExCom. That is for ExCom. So, but okay, a few more important announcements. First of all, our DTM Sarfraz has just been elected or appointed as area director. And do we have any other? Oh yeah, our PP Education Toastmaster Imran has just been elected as area director. And our member DTM Nishan, who is a division director, also got elected to president of ICAP Toastmasters. There was some. Yeah, our member, Toastmaster Amir Bilal, has been elected as Area 2 Director.
We'll have a picnic on.
3rd July.
We will have a picnic on 3rd July. So everyone, please feel free to join and
With your families.
with your families. And if you are in like USA or Canada, it would be totally worthwhile to purchase tickets for your entire families and come here for a few hours and then fly back. Trust me, it will be totally worth it. We had another club officer that had
Toastmaster Anand won the second.
No. We have another person who became a club officer. VP Education. All right. Never mind. We make the announcements as and when they come. Oh yes. Toastmaster and Rana just got elected.
You did not congratulate. Also not congratulate. You have to go home.
Oh, Kadri got the second place.
You don't have to disclose.
Thank you so much. So with that, finally, incredibly, impossibly, we bring this to an end. And thank you so much, online participants, and see you all next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.